Alright, so I'm going to show how to open up and disassemble this HP Spectre x360 convertible model 13-AE013DX. Alright, so first thing you're going to need is a PH1 or JIS1 screwdriver. You also need a T5 or Torx 5 screwdriver, and then a suction cup will help, but you can also use tape for this. Actually, I don't know if we'll need the suction cup, we'll see. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is remove the rubber foot here. So the customer had this whole thing already torn out, but the adhesive layer is still there. So we're going to get this plastic adhesive layer out. I just use my fingernails, get underneath there, and then we'll peel this up. And you want to set this aside so that you can put it back on later. Alright, so now we're going to use the PH1 or JS1 screwdriver and remove the 4 screws here. You want to keep the screws in order because they are different size, shape, and lengths. The way you do that, put them flat side down on your desk in the pattern you remove them. At least that's how I remember them. If you have another method, you can go ahead and use that. But I find this works the best. Alright, these screws actually seem to be smaller, so yeah. If this video helps you, make sure to like, subscribe, and share my channel with others so that they can learn how to open up, repair, and upgrade their devices. And if this video helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little bit to the channel so that I can continue making these videos for a living. I actually do these computer repairs for a living, but as I continue to put out more and more videos, people watch them and figure out and fix them on their own, so I actually slowly get less and less business. Alright, so hopefully if I help you save money, you'll be able to help me out. Alright, so now we switch to the T5 or Torx 5 screwdriver, and we'll remove these 2 screws down here. Alright, now that we got all the screws out, as you can see, this part is popping up. I don't know if that's because something is weird with this computer, but if yours isn't popping up, you can use a suction cup, or you can use 2 pieces of tape, just tape them down and then have them meet in the middle, so you can use it as a pull tab. Alright, but anyways, we'll use the suction cup just like that, and here you can see we can pull it up, and the bottom kind of swings, it just stays down like that, and then you can kind of wiggle it and pull it out, and there you go, we got the bottom cover out. So we're going to upgrade, or actually replace, this M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD because it's not being detected at all. Alright, there's not really too much you can do in here. You can see the battery, CP03XL. It's pretty easy to remove, it looks like. You got some screws here. You'll actually need a PH0 or JIS0 screwdriver for those. So there's 2 screws here, and then it looks like you got the 2 darker colored screws here. Okay, so these silver ones I think are for the speakers. They go underneath the battery, and I think that's to remove the speakers here. So the speaker, each speaker connects to the motherboard separately, so they have the connectors here and here. Alright, these kinds of connectors are ones where you kind of pop them up. I don't want to mess with them because sometimes they're fragile and they can break, but basically they're like the MacBooks. You'd get underneath and then you'd just pry up on the connector itself. You want to be careful, make sure that you're prying up on the connector, not the socket that's on the board, because if you pry up the thing that's on the board, then you're gonna not be able to use that anymore. If it's like the Mac, there's a little notch under the socket, and it kind of helps to use a thin, smaller tool like this. Alright, and then you can kind of get underneath and then you can poke at that and it can pop up. But again, I don't want to mess with that. Alright, so the battery connector, if you're going to remove it, you have the 2 wings here. I usually just use my fingernails and just wiggle it like this, and eventually it will pop out. You want to be patient, don't just try and yank it out. I believe the battery also acts as the BIOS, CMOS, or RTC battery, the real-time clock battery. So if you disconnect that, it is going to reset the BIOS. There is RAM soldered onto the motherboard here, but it's not upgradable because it's soldered. If you're able to somehow solder that chip, then that's basically called reballing, or I don't know what you would call it. Reballing is usually, yeah, when you put new solder balls on new sticks, new RAM memory modules, stuff like that. I don't know anyone that does that. That would be cheap enough to make it worth doing. You might as well buy a new computer if you're going to do that. But yeah, let's see, I'm not sure what this cable here is for. Sorry, I'm going out of view of the camera. It looks like it's just going to this, but I don't, oh, I think this is a fingerprint sensor. So yeah, it's not a physical button. I think this is a fingerprint sensor. I mean, if you own the laptop, you probably know. I don't own this laptop. I don't do anything with it, so other than going to be installing the operating system on the new SSD. Then you got these. I think this is the trackpad connector, keyboard backlight connector. Again, we're going to remove the SSD. It looks like we do need to switch to a PH0 or JS0 screwdriver for this. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll remove that one screw. Once you get the screw out, you can lift the SSD up like that. You can see it stays popped up slightly, and then you can go ahead and pull it back. And that's how you remove the SSD. So I'm not sure why, but these SSDs that come with the computers, I always tend to see them like fail early. So they use some bad, I don't know, they use some crappy SSDs when they sell it to you. So if you're gonna get a computer that has one of these slots, you don't need to get a crazy storage size. Just buy the smallest one you can find, and then you can just upgrade it yourself, because the aftermarket ones are a lot better. Okay, a lot of people, they like OEM, original, whatever, but that doesn't always mean better quality. Okay, so keep that in mind. Sometimes the aftermarket stuff is actually better. So let's see, there's a hair stuck in there. We must have, probably from a pet or something, I don't know. But anyways, get that stuff out. Okay, we're gonna put this new SSD in. So this is a Samsung 980. This is a M.2 NVMe. If you need a link to find them, just let me know. But yeah, any M.2 NVMe should work in this slot, so keep that in mind. All right, we just put the new SSD in there, get it lined up, and put the screw down. All right, I'll also show how to install Windows back on here. But yeah, so let's go ahead and continue going over what we see. So there's a little connector here for this board on the side. That board is for the power button, the USB port, and the headphone jack. So if for some reason this board isn't working, most likely this cable's bad. If it's just a single component, you might have to replace this whole little board. In some cases, you can solder a new little button there if the button itself is broken. Then you also got a cable here that goes to this micro SD card slot. Okay, and all these little cables, they have these little flip latches. I'll flip one up. Basically, it flips up like that, and then you can pull the cable out easily. I'm gonna latch it back down. But that's pretty much all there is to this. Actually, there's stuff underneath these, I guess. So the wireless card is soldered to the board as well. You got the fan connector here. This is most likely for the webcam in the screen. Then you got another speaker connector here. Okay. Looks like there's a small little ribbon cable here. I'm not sure what that's going to. I don't want to peel up all of this adhesive because then that can cause some problems. So I'm going to skip that. You got the LCD LVDS connector on this side. If you're going to mess with this, make sure that you disconnect the battery and the plug, open up the computer, and then press and hold the power button for 15 seconds before you even flip this latch up. If you don't, there's a good chance you can fry something on the motherboard, and then you won't have any display. You also have another connector here for another speaker. And it's too bad I can't see what that little blue cable, where it's going. Huh. Okay, it's going under here to this other fan. I don't know what that's plugging into, but let's open this and see. Yeah, I don't know what that's connecting to. So if somebody knows, feel free to post it in the comment section below, but I don't see where it's going. I just know it's going underneath that fan. Okay, but anyways, let's go ahead and put this back together. So we're gonna take the cover, put it back, and then I'll show you how to reinstall Windows on here. All right, so put it back at the angle like this, just like how we removed it. Okay, and then slowly work your way down the sides and get all of this back into place. You might have to lift the center up here so that it bows it out to get this little hinge area into place, but there we go. Okay, it doesn't look lined up right, so I'm gonna have to actually take it back out and slide it back over. Yeah, it's not lined up right down here. Okay, so make sure this gets lined up right. And make sure this all gets clicked in properly. Keeps wanting to pop out. There we go. Okay, hopefully that's right now. All right, and let's double check. All right, it looks good. Okay, so let's go ahead and now put back all these screws. This part keeps wanting to come back up. Make sure it goes in right. You might have to flex the middle so it kind of bows up this way to get these edges into place. All right. This side doesn't want to go down for some reason. Come on. There we go. Oh yeah, I do have to bow it out a little. All right, make sure everything looks good. Then we're gonna go ahead and put back these PH1 or JS1 screws here. I got a call right now, but we'll let it go to voicemail. All right, let's go ahead and get these last few screws in. There we go. All right, and then we're gonna switch back to the T5 or Torx 5 screwdriver and put those last two screws in. And again, if you disconnected the battery, it's gonna take a while to boot up. Just be patient, don't force shut it off. It'll pop up a message saying that the BIOS was reset, so, okay. Did this not pop in right? Oh, that's not popped in right, so let's go ahead and pop that back in. Oh, I'm gonna have to pop this all back out. It didn't stay popped in right down there. Okay. I don't know why that didn't stay in, but you don't want to leave it messed up, so let's go ahead and take it back out. Sorry if this is being longer than you're expecting or hoping. Right, let's go ahead and lift this. Okay, there we go. And hopefully all of this will go back in without any issues. I have to kind of hold it all at the same time. Yeah, it's kind of a pain. Okay, make sure it's all good. There we go. And while you're holding it all down, get that screw into place. Oh. Make sure it stays clipped in. This thing keeps wanting to pop back out. There we go. Okay, there we go. And we'll get these last two. Oops, why'd I switch the screwdriver? We're still using the PH1 or JS1 screwdriver for this. Okay. Looks good, and let's go ahead and put back the T5 or Torx 5 screws now. Alright, and then let's go ahead and install Windows. So to install Windows, you want to create a bootable Windows 10 USB. If you're not sure how to do that, I have a video that shows how to do that. Just post a comment in the comment section below and I'll link you to that video. Don't forget to put back the little rubber feet if you took it out. They don't have the rubber foot, but I'm going to put back this adhesive strip just to cover the screws. Okay, just like that. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and get the Windows installer. Excuse me. So open this up, plug in the USB, push the power button, and then we're gonna switch the boot device by pressing F9. Oh, okay, it's working. I thought the battery was dead. So we press F9, and then it said change boot device order, and here you can see USB hard drive, so we're gonna boot from that. And then we're just going to go through, we're going to select the 64-bit option because I created a 32 and 64-bit. And then it's going to load. So this will take a while. Right now it's super small because the screen is a really high resolution. But that's okay, just wait for it. And once it loads, it will actually change the resolution so it will be the right size. So I'm gonna put the old SSD in the box. So here you see it shows this screen. All right, so usually I just leave the defaults And then what I do is I press tab 3 times and then press enter, and then it will show install now. Press enter. Okay, we'll let that load some more. All right, setup is starting. We'll give it a bit. All right, and then I'll push the space bar to accept the license terms and then press enter. And then I'll press the down arrow to go to custom install. Then now I can see the SSD here. And then if you have partitions already on the drive and you want to wipe it out, you can delete each partition until it shows unallocated space, drive 0. And then you just press enter. And there we go, it's installing. So once I do this, I have another video that shows how I optimize Windows 10 and everything. If you want to see that video, you can actually check my playlist. It's in the general computer repair videos playlist. But anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. All right. Again, if it helped you, like, subscribe, share my channel. If it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing to the channel. Every little bit helps. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye. Let's drop this.